Hello, my name is Jeanette Stein from AlgebraOneTeachers.com. Today we're going to talk about 4 things to say when students get frustrated. This can be such an important topic when we want them to stay engaged and focused. First, let's talk a little bit about brain science. Let them know that it'll make more sense when they think about this tomorrow. When students get very discouraged, frustrated, overwhelmed with a difficult concept, it's often good to interrupt their thinking to bring up a new topic so that they can lose that frustrated feeling before you go back to it and maybe introduce it in a new way. One thing that I ask my students is, what does your brain do while you sleep? And most students don't understand that when we sleep, the brain processes information, connects it to prior learning, it makes it easier to understand the next day. When I explain this to kids, they'll often say things like, is that why it always feels easier after or the next day? Exactly. This will usually click with most kids. Most kids have had the experience of being very frustrated in a certain class one day, and the next day they walk in and it makes more sense. Reminding them of this will help alleviate some of their frustration. The second tool that seems to work is reminding them of a time that they found success. Now, this may or may not have to do with math, but I've found that with my students, connecting it to math, it is a much more powerful experience for them. Reminding them that when we are solving systems of equations and they have to solve that equation, well, I remember when you were so good at that, so I know this part will be easy for you. Having them connect that will allow them to feel more confident and know that there is a part of this problem that seems so overwhelming that they are going to be good at, that's going to feel natural. This will alleviate some of the stress and again allows those brain cells to do what they need to do, not full of stressed chemicals. The third thing I like to tell my students is that I believe in them. And sometimes in the middle of that frustration, when you're frustrated, they're frustrated, taking a time out, slowing down what you're doing, and reminding them that you believe in them can go a long way. As many of you may know, I have 6 children, 4 adopted. So I had a birth daughter, adopted 4 more, had a birth son 18 months later. I was quite overwhelmed. And I was quite difficult on my children because I had to be. I didn't know how else to survive. And my mom made me feel so much better. And she always taught me that it was okay to be tough with my kids as long as, most importantly, at the end of the day, they understood they are loved. And I believe in my classroom the same is true, that I can be tough on them. I can demand a lot from them. If I remind them often that I believe in them, I believe in their success, I believe in who they are, and I believe in them as human beings that have something to contribute. This can go a long way to helping them when they are frustrated to overcome that frustration and put in a really solid effort for that course. The fourth thing I like to say are those main keywords that you see on elementary building walls. You see things like perseverance and integrity and honesty and grit and effort and character, and sometimes even things like resilience. And when I use those keywords, whether I like to think it's my credit, but I know it's not, it's those elementary school teachers who instilled in them what those words mean and that they're capable of it. So when I say, yes, we're going to be, doing some of these very difficult concepts, whatever that might be. I'm thinking in geometry with those proofs, and they say, when am I ever going to use this? And I said, well, when are you ever going to have to break down a problem and persevere and be able to really take a look at it and persevere through solving something really difficult in life? Have you watched your parents deal with hard stuff? And they can't help but say yes. So they understand that, and when I use those words, it brings back all of those great feelings, and now they know that I think they can do it as well, which is very important. Lastly, this bonus tip I think is so important. When you're frustrated, when the kids are frustrated, stop, reframe, and redirect. Take a pause. When you or your students are frustrated, slow your speech. Focus on what you do know, and after a pause, try again. This is so important. Slowing your speech gives them and yourself a calm demeanor. You'll even notice if you slow your speech while you're upset at home with something, that you tend to feel more calm. And the same effect will be in your classroom. The second most important thing is focusing on what you do know, and I should have typed in here what your students know. Focusing on what they can do instead of focusing on what they will not or cannot do will really bring a different atmosphere to your classroom. Pause, tell a story, get them engaged, tell them when they're going to use this, whatever you need to do to reset the tone in your class, and then try again. We know you can do it. We know your kids can do it. Sometimes they just need to have the brain reset, believed in, so that they know that they can do it. So in conclusion, we always know that the ticket for success is that every student must grow every day. And using these 5 tips, I hope that you'll find some more ways to help that one child that just does not want to connect. Thank you so much for watching this short video. Your homework for this week is just to try one of these when you feel yourself being frustrated. Maybe you want to use the word perseverance. Maybe you want to tell a story about when things got hard and you made it through. Remind your students that they know things already. Choose one of these, work it into your lessons, and see what it can do for your classroom. And then stop back by and let me know how it goes. Have a great day.